There's a saying that goes, you are judged by the company you keep. Sometimes that's a fair assessment, sometimes it isn't. Still, I was thinking of this old adage regarding the curious case of former Ontario Progressive Conservative candidate Simmer Sandhu. You see, back in May 2018, just weeks before the Ontario election, Mr. Sandhu abruptly announced in a tweet that he was stepping down as the candidate for Brampton East. At the same time, he also vehemently denied allegations pertaining to his work life and his nomination campaign, even though he claimed innocence and promised to vigorously defend himself. He said it would be impossible to continue running as the PC candidate in Brampton East. Quote, "This election is too important to get caught up in the issues surrounding any one person," end quote. And what were those allegations? Oh, they were very serious indeed. Namely, until February 2018, Sandhu was an employee at Ontario's private toll highway, the ETR 407, and his resignation as a PC candidate came barely an hour after the 407 company confirmed that information about 60,000 customers had been leaked through internal theft. Sandhu had worked at the 407 for almost a decade, most recently as a litigation analyst in the collections department. Of note, York Regional Police, as well as the federal and provincial privacy agencies, were notified of the data breach and investigations were launched. 407 spokesman Kevin Sack said he couldn't speculate on how the information in the data breach might have been used, but media reports noted that there was some separate evidence indicating that the data could have been employed to help recruit Conservative Party members in internal campaigns. And if Mr. Sandhu was guilty of lifting the data of some 60,000 407 customers, that is indeed a criminal act. But it is odd he would choose to resign if he was innocent. We still live in a nation in which one is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Indeed, by resigning in such a fashion, the optics sure don't look good. But get this, the Rebel was recently tipped off that Simmer Sandhu has resurfaced, not as a candidate, but as someone helping the candidacy of Ramona Singh, who is running federally for the Conservative Party in that very same riding of Brampton East. How odd, because until those serious data breach allegations are put to rest once and for all, one would think Simmer Sandhu is damaged goods, to say the least. In any event, I reached out to Mr. Sandhu. My first question was whether he was working on the Ramona Singh campaign as alleged. And his somewhat cryptic answer was, quote, "No, not really," end quote, which kind of falls into the murky realm of, "I'm just a little bit pregnant." Sandhu said he was unable to continue the conversation given that he was at work, so we agreed to touch base later. Alas, whenever I called, it always seemed like an inconvenient time for him to have a conversation, so I never did get clarification from him in terms of his involvement with the Singh campaign, and for that matter, an update on all those privacy breach investigations. I also reached out to Ramona Singh. Ms. Singh, however, denied that Sandhu is either a paid worker or even a volunteer on her campaign. She said she had no idea why he'd answer "no, not really" when asked whether he was. However, Singh did note that he is a constituent in her riding, and she knows him very well through family and friends. She says he's helped build bridges by introducing her to other Conservatives in the riding. I'll leave it up to you if this qualifies as being someone who works on a campaign. As well, Singh says she has no idea what the latest information is pertaining to all those data breach investigations. That's kind of odd too, because if I was running for office, I'd sure want to know if my bridge building friend is guilty or innocent, or if that is a matter still to be determined. Because as it stands now, until there's full closure, Simmer Sandhu is carrying around enough baggage to fill a cube van. Also, for what it's worth, I think Ramona Singh is a very good candidate. She's smart and she's savvy, and I think she has a very good chance of winning her riding. Indeed, she told me that when she goes door knocking in Brampton East, 7 out of 10 people tell her they are very upset with the Trudeau Liberals. All of which makes it further odd that Ramona Singh would allow her campaign to potentially be compromised by allegations that Simmer Sandhu is somehow a part of it, even indirectly. Look, Mr. Sandhu might be as innocent as a newborn kitten, but until he clears his name, I don't think his presence on any campaign is a plus, regardless of the connections he might have in the Brampton community. Not when you stand accused of stealing the data of 60,000 people. Indeed, the perception looks brutal here, and in politics, perception trumps reality 9 times out of 10. Thus, even if Singh isn't officially on the campaign and is merely just a friend helping out, well, that reminds me of another old adage: with friends like that, who needs enemies? For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, if you liked that video, please like and subscribe and never miss another Rebel video.